Right, good morning all. So we're moving along Surah 6, still on Surah 6, and we're talking about verses that speak directly to monotheism, the worship of one God and one God only, right? Um, Now, if you, right, are one of the beings incarnate, right, that came to teach knowledge, right, and you are one of the beings that people tend to worship, right, this is speaking to you as well, because one, I have 2 points to make here. One, there are some beings, because of their arrogance and ego, right, because of their arrogance and ego, they want people to actually worship them. I don't want that. That's why I'm trying hard to get rid of that system of thinking, right? Because of arrogance and ego, there are some beings who incarnate and they want worship, right? Secondly, there are beings that incarnate and they do not know who they are, right? They do not know who they are, so they do not know, right, that this is what they are doing or encouraging, right? So that's 2 points, right? But anyhow, the overall aim to get to, right, is to get to the point where we do not worship deities on earth, and this is regarding all cultures and all entities. We are not only specifically talking to the common ones that people see, such as the CHRIST figure or the Ram figure or the Krishna figure, the normal Lakshmi figure, all these things, right? These are the regular ones, at least the regular people. These are the common ones that we know of. Sita, Lakshmi, right? Ram, Krishna. We're talking about all cultures, right? All cultures, right? Well, because what is normal in your culture wouldn't be normal to me in my culture. At least I wouldn't feel that way unless you're educated upon or know, say, the names of the gods or deities or whatever in your culture, in those other cultures, right? So was the saying was normal to the fly is chaos to the spider and all that kind of thing, and vice versa, right? Normal to the spider is chaos to the fly, whatever, right? So in all different cultures, there are different entities being worshipped. Some considered demonic, some considered angelic, right? What we're trying to do is to do away with the worship of all these deities, right? Because it is the dedication to, right? When you're dedicating a certain activity to, right, you are dedicating whether evil or good, right, you are dedicating certain activities to, right, these deities that causes you to do evil in the first place, right? You're dedicating blood to a deity, you do evil in the name of that, right? You're dedicating something to a deity, you're dedicating an action of pedophilia to a deity, right? It causes you to to engage in pedophilia. You're thinking about things in this way, you're thinking about things in terms of satanism, satanic practice, right? Drawing all kind of symbols on the ground and those kind of things, and doing all kind of rituals involving child and blood sacrifices and all kind of thing, right? You're dedicating it to some evil force. You are engaging in that activity for the sake of that evil force, right? So that's why we are doing away with all these things, right? So Surah 6, 11, verse 100, right? But they have attributed to Allah partners, the jinn, while He has created them, and have fabricated for them sons and daughters without knowledge. Exalted is He and high above what they describe, right? So the verse starts with but, right? And I want to address a particular concept here, and this is when people like to say, hey, you're taking a verse out of a scripture, out of context, right? When you see a verse, you quote it, right? And then people of that religion or whatever say, but no, there's no way it mean you're taking this verse out of context and whatever. So let me backtrack. Let's backtrack, right? And see where this comes from, because it doesn't start with they, it starts with the word but, and but is uh, um, conjunction or whatever is a connecting thing. So meaning it have something before. It have something that we need to explore before that particular verse come into play, right? So we start from 95. Indeed, Allah is the cleaver of grain and date seeds. He brings the living out of the dead and the dead of the living. That is Allah. So how are you deluded? Right? He is the cleaver of daybreak and has made night for rest and a sun and moon for calculation. This is the determination of the exalted in mind and knowing. It is He who placed for you the stars that you might be guided by them through the darkness of the land and sea. And He has detailed a sign for people who know. And it is He who produced from one soul, and gave you a place of dwelling and storage. He has detailed the signs for people who understand, and it is He who sends down rains from the sky. And He has produced thereby the growth of all things. He produces from greenery from that which He produced grains arranged in layers, and from palm trees of its emerging fruits are clusters hanging low. And He produces gardens of grapevines and olives and pomegranates, similar yet varied. Look at each of the fruit, what it yields, and at its ripening. Indeed, these are signs for people who believe, right? And then 18, 100 goes on to say, so that was 95 to 99. 100 goes on to say, but they have attributed to Allah partners, right? The jinn, while He has created them, right? So the jinn is a creation of Allah too, right? And it's a test. Hey, do you worship jinn or do you worship Allah, right? So they have created jinn. Allah has created jinn as one of His creations, as a means of testing you. Hey, do you worship jinn or do you worship Allah, right? And have fabricated for Him sons and daughters without knowledge. Exalted is He and high above that which may be described, right? So that is the preface to verse 100, right? As it starts with, when people let tell you, oh, you're taking a verse out of context and this, that, and the other, right? This is the context to which that verse emanates, and the context to why, yeah, you should worship just one God, right? So we're still on the principle of monotheism, right? And we are moving onward, forward, right? In this capacity, in this vein, right? So take care, everybody. Have a good day.